Defence says they did knock you back on a request for aerial
Apparently,
support.
yeah.
What aerial support
I cannot. I am not aware of requests. I'm not questioning that the answer was no. I'm happy to try and follow up for you. I think it related to drones. I think drones have been used in other states to try and surveil some public spaces. I'm not sure. We have. I think Victoria Police have used some of that technology. I'm not sure they might have asked for some support that wasn't forthcoming. I'm in no way critical of their decision to not provide that, but I'm happy to try and follow up for you.
Who would have asked for that?
I'll have to come back to you on that. And look, at the end of the day, I don't think that anyone is asserting that would have been a pivotal thing, and that we're in one set of circumstances because that wasn't granted. That is not the issue. I think it was simply a matter of fact that was asked for, and the answer was no. I'm not making any value judgments about that whatsoever. In fact, the details of the request are not known to me. I'm more than happy to chase it up, though.
Do you think Victorians would be concerned, though, that we're asking for the military to put drones up to spy on us?
Well, I don't think that's what they would have been for, Lundy. I think they might have been.
No, I mean, neither do we.
Well, let me follow up then. That probably confirms the need for me to follow up. I wouldn't read any more into it than logic tells me, and I'm happy to get the details for you, that it would have been about trying to monitor movement in one way or another, or whether crowds were gathering as they shouldn't have done, things of that nature.
Andrew Crisp said in his...
Sure.
Where are you in discussions as far as Term 4 is concerned? I know children aren't required to wear masks right now, but is that something that could happen in Term 4, that children would return if they wore masks, or what measures are you looking at?
Yeah, look, I think it's a little early for us to talk about what Term 4 will look like. Obviously, we've got the balance of Term 3, the holiday period, and then that is still some weeks away. And look, I think our general approach has always been, let's try and give parents and teachers and staff, school communities, as much notice as we possibly can, including students, of course. Let's try and give them as much notice as we can. But I think parents and everyone I just listed would probably accept the fact that it's a bit early now to be talking about what Term 4 will look like. But our teachers and staff, students and indeed parents have done an amazing job, both when we were at school physically and of course in terms of the flexible and remote learning. It isn't easy, it's very challenging, and as soon as we can provide clarity about what we think Term 4 will look like, then of course we will.
Related to that, the school holidays,
Sure.
Should people be anticipating at least, I guess, Stage 3 restrictions through those school holidays, or at least some sort of travel restriction?
Yeah, it's kind of the same answer, I think, to Chanel's question. We need to be very careful just to be guided by the data, and it's really difficult to know where we'll be. That's some weeks off, so it's very challenging to work out exactly where we'll be at that time. And I wouldn't want to try and predict that, when I think logic tells you, and the data tells you, and international experience tells you that this is not only widely infectious, but it can be widely variable. So there'll be a time when we've got more certainty and we can speak directly to those issues. So, what the next set of rules might look like, but that is not today. And I get that that's very frustrating for people. People want certainty, they want to know what's next. But what we have to be focused on as the next thing is continuing to see these numbers come down, and then that of course will just give us more options. And that's why the key point here is, in every way, we can't be complacent. We have to acknowledge this is a long haul, and yes, it's frustrating, yes, it's painful. If there was an alternative, then we would pursue it. There isn't. We've just got to see this through, and in many respects the most important thing you can do is as soon as you get even the mildest symptoms, please come forward and get tested, and then please stay at home until you get your test result. That's just a massive thing that you can do. It seems very simple, but it's a huge contribution that each and every symptomatic Victorian can make towards our collective fight against this.